Hello, just coming on to do a sensor change. I took my sensor off this morning and put my sensor on charge on here. So you can see it's actually all finished charging because this one here is no longer flashing green. You don't have to wait for it to be fully charged. This honestly has only been on here for about 40 minutes. I usually say to people 20 to 30 minutes is completely fine and you're good to go. This can still be flashing green. That doesn't matter. If this one here ever flashes red, that just means that the battery in this one is due to change, and you just change the AAA battery in the back there. But that is not the case with mine. So what I usually do when I'm doing a set change is not drop everything. But I use one of these and I clean off, first of all, any spots on me that are a bit black and gunky. And then I clean off the sensor, the transmitter. So these are really like wet. So sometimes I can't really be bothered to put the green thing on the end of the transmitter. So I just wait until I've gotten other black stuff off, and then I go to clean this. You can also use like baby oil on a cotton bud, normal oil on a cotton bud, or an alco swab. Alco swabs just take a little bit longer to get all the gunk off. But yeah, I just use one of these and then it is nice and clean and good to go. So first step with your set change is literally just pulling the whole thing off of your body and plugging it in to this one. Then you're going to open this up and plop it on a table, just nice and flat. I will use my hand as a table for this. I've got an observer here. Hello, Chocolate. Chocolate the cat. Okay, don't. So next step is, if this were my table, thank you, Chocolate, I would be getting this inserter and I would put it on here all the way flat down to the table. Then with it still on the table, I would put my fingers on these two bits and just pull it off. After that, I always recommend to remove this paper bit so that the sensor is sticking down with more surface area when you actually stick it to your arm. And then I would always push this flat down so that it's good to go. I've just been for a bath, so I'm not going to do an alcohol swab, but I would normally do that just to kind of get any of the oils off my skin so that my sensor actually stuck. But we're not going to do that today. Then we're just going to grab this one. I always recommend putting on like a mushroom, so having the white, the transmitter on the top rather than on the bottom. That just helps to, in theory, have it working. If there's any bleeders or anything, it gives them a slightly more chance of working because the blood isn't flowing down into the transmitter hole there. So what you're going to do is you're just going to pick your spot. I really like the front of my arm, and I go all the way kind of up and down the front there. That just saves me from like lying on it if I'm sleeping, and stops it from like doing pressure lows and disconnections and stuff like that. So we're just going to put it on here really gently. We're going to relax our arm, and you're just going to press the green buttons and then pull off. Now, the really simple bit with this is that you don't have to pay attention to the Medtronic videos on how it's removed because those videos are confusing. So all you really need to do is hold the very end of it and just flick it out. So really fast at a straight angle, you're just going to pull it out. So gone are the days where you actually have to hold this bottom bit. So I'm just going to hold the end and I'm going to yank it out. And that's it. We're done. So you can see how, as one person, I did not need, like, it wasn't any bother. So then you're going to grab so if you were taping it up with the Medtronic tapes, the best recommendation is that this first tape would go on right now, and you would flick this little bit up, and you would put this first tape on so that the back big bit is holding the sensor that's sticking out of your arm there onto your arm. So it's just holding that bit there. So you're not putting it like that. You're literally sticking it down onto your arm. I don't do that because I have some skin irritation from the Medtronic tape. So I use an Expression Med tape and a little plastic reusable cover, which I have someone make for me, and I sell these. If you're interested in them, please don't hesitate to shoot me a PM and I can get you one of those. So next up is literally just finding that circle bit. So I just find the circle like that, and then I clip it on. You want to hear a good clip and you want to see it flash green just like that. I recommend not taping it up until your pump says something. So I'm just going to hold my pump here for you. And sometimes it takes a long time, sometimes it doesn't, but you just wait. If the pump, for whatever reason, doesn't say new sensor connected, start new sensor, then you're going to disconnect the transmitter from the sensor and you're going to re-push it on again. And that's going to re-link up the Bluetooth kind of, or the connection between the two items, and then you should again see the sensor connected. So we are waiting. And it will start flashing red at the little button up there when it is doing